Welcome to the training video for AltiGen Max Supervisor software. Max Supervisor is an optional component of your Max communication server that provides access to tools for monitoring workgroup and agent activity. After this video, you will be given a location to download the Max Supervisor manual should you have any additional questions. By default, Max Supervisor will run automatically when you log into your computer. Should you need to run it manually, just click on Start, Programs, select the Max Supervisor folder, and then click on the Max Supervisor icon. Enter your personal extension number and voicemail password. After logging into Max Supervisor, you will be prompted to select one or more groups to monitor. Just check the box in the Monitor column next to the group you want to view. Then click the password field next to the group name and enter the workgroup password. For ease of use, check the Save Workgroup Password checkbox. If you would like to remove groups from the Max Supervisor login display, make sure the Show All Rows checkbox is checked. Then, click the Hide Row checkbox next to each workgroup you'd like to hide. When complete, click the Sign In button. After a few seconds, the main Max Supervisor window will be displayed. This is the main Max Supervisor window. At the top, you'll find two tabs, Workgroup View and Agent View. We'll start with the Workgroup View tab. Below the tab, you'll see the workgroups you selected during the login process, along with the real-time queue and agent information. The CIQ, or Calls in Queue column, displays how many calls are currently in a workgroup queue. The LQT, or Longest Queue Time column, shows the longest time that a call has been in queue. The next column displays how many calls in queue have exceeded the service level threshold. The service level is set for each workgroup by your administrator. This column is helpful to determine what queues may need assistance with handling calls. BM displays how many new voicemail messages have been left. The rest of the columns display the number of agents in a particular state. First is the total number of agents configured for the group, followed by the agents that are currently logged out of the group and logged into the group. Idle and busy agents are shown next. You'll also see the number of agents in wrap-up, not ready, and do not disturb or forward states. Note that throughout this application, columns can be added or removed by right-clicking on the column name. If you want to rearrange the order of the columns, just drag them over each other. Left-click on any column once to sort in ascending order. Click again to sort in descending order. Also, a description of each column will be displayed if the cursor is placed over the column name. Next, we'll review the tabs that provide more detailed information about each workgroup. First, select the group you'd like to view and click on the Calls in Queue tab. This will display all calls that are in the queue for the workgroup you selected. In addition to basic caller information, you can see the ID of the call, which will tell you the order that the calls have come into the queue, how long each call has been in the queue, the priority level of the call, the amount of time the caller has been at the current priority level, and the skill level requirements of the call. Note that higher priority callers will be sent to agents first. Priority can be set automatically via system configuration or workgroup configuration. Alternately, it can be set manually within the Max Supervisor by right-clicking on a queued call. Remember, the data on each tab will change based on the group you've selected. At the bottom of this tab, Call Pickup and Call Redirect options are available. Simply select a call from the queue and click on the Pickup button to speak with the caller, or click the Redirect button to manually route the call to another extension, workgroup, or to an outside number. The Priority Pickup and Redirect features can be enabled or disabled by your administrator. Next, we'll look at the Group Statistics tab. This will display daily statistics for the workgroup you selected above. Note that this information is reset every night at midnight. A comprehensive display of workgroup statistics is on the left. On the right, a graphical display is shown. You can select the call data and interval time used for the graph on the bottom right-hand corner. First, we'll look at a workgroup inbound calls with an interval of 15 minutes. You can see the total number of inbound workgroup calls since midnight for the workgroup you originally selected above, along with the call distribution over time. Next, we'll look at the average talk time with an interval of 1 hour. You can see the average caller talk time since midnight on an hourly basis for the workgroup you originally selected above. At the bottom of the window, you have the ability to export the data to an Excel-compatible format. You can also print the data. The next tab, Group Voicemail, displays all messages in the workgroup's voicemail box. Note that agent and workgroup voicemail boxes are separate. You cannot view an agent's voicemail from within Max Supervisor. In addition to basic information about each voicemail, you can see the progress of a voicemail when it's being played. And you can also add a note by double-clicking on the note field. At the bottom of the window, you'll see controls to interact with the currently selected voicemail. You can call the caller back by clicking on the return button, forward the voicemail. You can mark the message as saved, or you can export the message to a WAV file for playback on any PC. The Agent Statistics tab shows call details for each agent in the workgroup you selected above. Again, this information is reset at midnight every night. Sorting on this tab is handled differently. Just click on the statistic you'd like to sort by, and you'll see a small triangle pointing up, indicating the results are being sorted in ascending order. Click on the same statistic again and the triangle will point down, meaning the results are now displayed in descending order. Both workgroup and direct calls are tracked. The statistics tracked are self-explanatory, but more information can be found in the Max Supervisor help file if needed. The Agent State tab shows individual agent activity for the workgroup you selected above and provides call supervision features. The Log-in/Log-out column shows the agent login status for this particular group. The agent skill setting, which is configured by the administrator, is shown in the skill level column. The next column, REC, will display a red icon if the call is currently being recorded. The final column, Logout Reason, will show the reason the agent selected on Group Logout. These reason codes are defined by the administrator. If necessary, descriptions for the other fields can be found in the help file or by hovering your mouse over the column name. In addition to agent activity, this tab allows you to monitor an agent's call. Just highlight the agent you'd like to listen to and click one of the buttons at the bottom. The Listen option will allow you to hear the agent and caller speaking. Neither party will be able to hear you. The Barge In option allows you to hear both parties, and both parties can also hear you, just like in a conference call. Coach will allow you to hear both parties, but only the agent can hear you speak. The caller still hears only the agent. This can be helpful if you need to provide a quick instruction to the agent that you don't want the caller to hear. Just hang up your phone or click the stop button to discontinue the monitoring. The last features we'll cover on this tab are seen when you right-click on an agent. If the agent is connected to a call, and the call is not currently being recorded by the system, you'll have the option to start, stop, or pause the call recording. When the recording is complete, it will be saved to your extension's voicemail box. In addition, you can manually log in or log out an individual agent, or log out all agents at once. All of the tabs we discussed can be moved to a separate window by clicking on the tab and dragging it outside of the window. Moving the window back to the tab is handled by clicking the window and dragging it back to the tabs. Next, we'll look at the Agent View tab at the top of the window. This displays the status of all agents for every workgroup you selected to monitor when you first logged into Max Supervisor. This allows a workgroup supervisor to quickly monitor the status of many agents across multiple groups simultaneously. Click on the plus symbol next to the agent's name to expand the display for that agent. You will see all of the workgroups the agent belongs to, assuming you also logged into those groups when logging Max Supervisor. Right-clicking on the agent's name will allow you to record the conversation if it's not already being recorded by the system. Right-clicking on one of the agent's groups will allow you to log the agent into a single group, all groups, or log the agent out of all groups. Also, when an agent is selected, call monitoring controls are enabled at the bottom of the window. Finally, we'll look at the Max Supervisor configuration options. Click on the gear icon on the upper right-hand corner of the window. In the Priority Color tab, you can set the font color for each priority level. This can make identifying high-priority calls from the Calls in Queue tab much easier. The Queue Alert tab allows for a visual and audible alert when a call has been in queue for a specified period of time, or when a certain number of calls are currently queued. The Restore Defaults tab can set both the priority colors and queue alerts back to the system default. This can be helpful if you move multiple tabs outside the Max Supervisor window and want to display the application in its default state. The Log Service tab is used by your administrator. This concludes the Max Supervisor training video. Should you require additional assistance with Max Supervisor, access a help file by clicking on the question mark icon, then the Help button. You can also find the complete Max Supervisor manual online at www.altigen.com. Click on Support and then Latest Product Manuals.